So 9-22 is a company that makes stuffed animals for children, and each of these stuffed animals has 3 computer chips, and they cost $2 each. So the policy for the company is to make sure they don't run out of inventory, and they make sure they want to have ending inventory at the end of each month equal to 20% of the next month's production. So similar to the last problem. So here, first of all, the number of units that you are going to be needing. So we're looking at these computer chips. So first of all, these are the number of toys for each of the months. So 5,000, 44, and 48. Each of these stuffed animals takes 3 computer chips. So we're looking for the number of computer chips for each of the months. So it's 15,000, 13,2, and 14,4. So again, it's cumulative. So it's plus equals your 14. So the quantity needed for production, again, this is cumulative as well. You're going to add these together. And so that's telling you how much you need. So in addition to the number of units you're going to need, you also, of course, want to make sure that you maintain ending inventory at 20% of the next month's production levels. So here you can see where we're coming up with the ending inventory is that we have 13,200. So 13,200 is the sales that we are expecting in February. So we want to make sure we have 20% of that on hand at the beginning. So that works out to be your 2640. So that's where the 2640 is coming from right here. So at the end of each month, you want to make sure that you have on hand enough stock to go forward and make the 20% of the following month's sales. So you do that for each of the quarters, and again, this is not cumulative here. So recall, at the end of the quarter is equal to the end of the month. So in the last problem, instead of presenting months across here, we were looking at quarters, but it's the same concept. So to get the total at the end of the quarter is equal to the end of March. So now we have the total needed is what you need for the month, plus your ending inventory that you want to keep on hand, which brings you down to 17,640, and so on. So this is cumulative across the 3 months. So for the quarter, you're going to need total inventory of 45,120 chips. However, you don't need to have that many quite, because you started off at the beginning of the period with an opening inventory balance. So you already started with some at the beginning of January, and it was 3,000 units you started off with at the end of January. And where that came from is you would have predicted at the end of December, you would have been forecasting 5,000 units for the month of January. So you would be having to have, let's bring this up a little bit more. So you would have had 5,000 toys times your 3 chips, so 15,000 chips, and you would have kept 20% inventory on hand at the end of the month, which is 3,000. So at the end of December, you would have had 3,000 units left. So your ending inventory in December will be your opening inventory in January. So you required 17,640, but you already had 3,000 on hand when you started the month. Therefore, the chips that you have to purchase is 14,640. They're $2 each, 29,280. And you follow through the same process for each of the months. So again, looking here what is cumulative. So at the end of the quarter, so at the beginning of the quarter, it's equal to the first month of the quarter. So 3,000 units is what you started with. And the total number of units to be purchased for the 3 months is 42,000 times your $2 per unit, 84,240. So the thing to watch for is the beginning and ending inventory balances at the beginning and ending of the quarter. And make sure you don't add those up. It's not a cumulative number. Okay, so that concludes 9-22.